Yeah, so counter for us is basically we run a different variations of counter, but we're running like the guard and fullback counter variation that a lot of teams are doing. So it's essentially power, except the fullback and guard are going to switch positions. So now the guard's going to pull and kick out the defensive end, and the fullback or the H is going to wrap or pull to the backside or the front side linebacker. So what we're doing in this drill is we set up an offensive line similar. You'll see 3 cones. The 2 outside cones are going to represent the tackles, and then the middle cone of the hash represents like the guard, and we'll say it's like a guard center, kind of like a combo block, or the guard blocking back on a one tech. So it's a little bit further ahead. It's kind of representing where the double team would go. And we're going to have our fullback start in this position, which is like our hip position. We can run it out of multiple alignments, but we'll have him start like outside of the backside tackle. And then on the start of the drill, he's just going to work his footwork. He's going to basically pull around and stay as tight to that double team. So the reason we have that cone a little bit further ahead is kind of represents where a double team's going to be once the block's engaged. So the coaching point on that is stay as tight to that down block as you can, no space. And then he's basically reacting off the linebacker, the blue bag's block. So he's going to get 2 different scenarios to start. Either the linebacker is going to kind of fire into the hole and stay inside, and we would basically tell that you're just going to engage that guy and try to drive him out and seal the play so the running back can go wide. Or what happens a lot is you'll see the linebacker jump outside of the fullback to try to contain it back inside and turn to the mic. So in that situation, it essentially just becomes power kick out further downfield. So we would talk in that case about using your leverage. So now it becomes a block left, hit left situation. We want to kick that thing out very similar to how you're going to kick it on power. And you're just going to work all the same techniques, bring your hands through, eye level, foot fire, and kind of finish downfield with contact and sustain that block. We're having our running back setting up in his alignment. We'll run this out of the pistol or the offset gun, like to the front side of the play. And he basically just going to work his footwork, and he's going to react off the fullback's block. So if the fullback kicks out the linebacker, the running back's got to stay tight and get north and just kind of crush through as if there's a mic on the hash and you got to run through the arm tackle. If the linebacker comes down hard or gets inside of the fullback, then the fullback's going to seal it. The running back should just bounce out wide and get back up north. So we'll work different techniques there as well. We'll tell the running back, like, okay, this time I want you to jump kind of get back north, or just kind of bend it or weave it. It happens a lot as well where they won't actually cut. They'll just kind of weave around and get back north. So just working different techniques. Sometimes I'll stand where the C is representing the coach and just give them like a next level defender they have to avoid. I might make them work a ball security. Sometimes I'll take a big round bag and I'll just kind of stab them with it and tell them, like, don't let me touch you with the bag, just to give them something as if they're working like an open field hitter that they got to work a move against. And we'll just do that drill as well. This is a really good drill for us. We do this drill quite often because we run this play from a ton of different looks. This actually may be a better play than power just because you get a little bit better personnel matchups. In our league, especially kind of what we're seeing from defensive ends, getting the guard on a defensive end that's going to spill is a better matchup for us. And I used to be a big power guy, but when I started coaching at Western, I saw us run this play a lot more. And I had run it when I came from high school, but I started to fall in love with this play. And then the next progression we would do is we would have a fullback stand where the defensive end on the front side would be, and we'll tell him, okay, in this situation, we're going to have the guard logging this play, and now you have to react off that. So in the situation I've drawn here, we're telling our fullbacks, this is getting kicked out from the guard. You're inside on this 100%. But as they start to get proficient at it, we'll say, okay, now we're going to work as if the guard is logging this, and you have to bounce around him. And now you're still reacting to the front side linebacker, but you got to go around the guard. So in that situation, they're going to go around that far cone, and then they're going to make the exact same block. And they're either going to get a linebacker coming from outside in, and they have to seal it, and the ball is going to bounce wide, or often they're going to get some kind of like exchange where now that linebacker is going to try to jump outside them and contain it, and then they have to kick it out tight. And that's going to happen. It's kind of like a very tight on the line kick out, so the linebacker will jump outside. They're going to wrap around the logger and kick him out, and the running back's going to jump cut and get back north. So that's in that situation, that's where the running back's going to really want to jump cut and get back north as quick as possible. And that happens in the game probably 40, 50% of the time as well, where you'll get a log from the guard and the ball kicks out wide. And then obviously after they get that down, you'll start to give them different reactions. So either I'll stand as the guard and I'll give them like a butt position as if I'm kicking out, or I'll give them a butt position as if I'm logging, and they just have to react off it accordingly. The main coaching point on that situation when you're getting a log is it's the same as with the guard on power. You want to make sure you're on a different level than the guard. So if you're right behind the guard and the guard logs, now you have to dip behind him to get around him. Whereas if you're like a yard deeper than the guard, kind of different levels. Now if the guard kicks out, you can still wrap tight to the down block. if the guard logs, you can just stay on your track and you don't have to worry about bellying around the guard. So just to reiterate, the main coaching points is obviously good footwork is key. We have a certain footwork we like where we want them to open with their first step and then gain ground with their second step. But if it's a kick out, we want to stay tight to the double team, identify what the fullback or what the linebacker's alignment is, get your eyes on them early. So we talk about, like, one of the analogies I used in high school was kind of like a zombie or a Terminator, like get your eyes on the target and don't take your eyes off the guard or the linebacker. If you're trying to identify where the linebacker is as the ball's being snapped, it's probably going to be tough for you because he's moving around. So kind of pre-snap, get your eyes on him and don't stare at him, but have an idea where his alignment. Is he tight to the line? Is he off? Is he inside? Is he outside? So you know where you're going. Once the ball snap, get your eyes on the linebacker. Don't take your eyes off him. Stay tight to the down block from the front side guard, the front side center. And then just if the blocker stays inside, seal it. The backer comes outside, kick it out, and the running back's got to cut accordingly. So a lot of talking about one little play, but
that's phenomenal. That's very good stuff.
Matt, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Any tips for the H-backs when they come around off a kick out and they got to maybe get a backer at second level at the end of the play?
Yeah, so I guess a lot of times if you're getting a spilling end, you're probably having that linebacker is like coming off to contain, because somebody's got to be containing now, because if you're getting a spiller, the end's now becoming the B-gap defender. So that backer or somebody off the edge, like the half, might be coming to contain it. We actually saw a ton of that last year. We were playing teams that were basically like auto exchanging any down block from our tackle. So we were getting this ball in this situation, like logging a ton. So, I mean, the first thing is obviously you want to be on the second, like a different level than the guard so you can see the block and react. You want to have some pace, like to yourself. Like one thing we talk about with our guys is like, don't be right up the guard's butt. Like give yourself a little bit of space. You know, we're a game plan team where we might have the guard and a center exchange based on fronts. So the center might go and kick out. There's ways that our fullback can know who's going. So if the center's going to be the puller and the kicker, it's going to happen a little bit faster for him versus the guard, because the guard's obviously got to go a further gap. But essentially, like if you see a log, you have to expect, I tell the fullbacks, like, you got to expect that somebody's coming off the edge right now to contain it. So expect that as soon as you get outside that log, there's going to be a guy showing up and you're just going to kick it. If the guy doesn't kick it, then just wrap tight and get your eyes on the backer and find out who's coming. And they've kind of messed up because now they don't have a contain player. We should have a gash on that play. Like we should have a big game because there's nobody containing. So running back should get outside that get north and we have a big game. But in that situation, just stay tight to the guard and just get your eyes back inside and block the first one that shows up. But I think the most important thing is they have to understand, like, if the defensive end just tears down inside, he's now given up to contain. Someone has to be coming around to take over the edge, or the defense is not sound. So that guy's going to probably be very tight. Let's expect that he's a really good player. He's going to be in a spot, and we're going to kick it out. It's going to happen right off the guard's butt, and the running back's just got to find that crease and go through. So be on your different level than the guard. Expect if you see the log that guy's coming right around the horn, he's going to show up out of nowhere and you're going to kick it. Just get your block left, hit left mentality and run your feet through contact. And if the guy isn't there, just react and be athletic and find the guy that should have been there and block him.